Imagine waking up one morning, pouring a handful of loose change onto your table, and realizing that one tiny copper coin, something you've ignored for years, could be worth more than the house you're living in right now. Today, you're about to discover how an ordinary-looking 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is astonishing collectors by commanding up to $943,000 in the market. Yes, almost $1 million for a single penny. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stay with me because by the time we reach the end, you'll look at every penny in your home like it's a potential winning lottery ticket. And trust me, you might have one hiding in a jar without even knowing it. But before we get too deep, let me interrupt your thoughts for a second. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? If you're like most people, you probably spend more time looking for your TV remote. But after this video, you're going to inspect pennies like a detective chasing a six-figure mystery. This isn't just another coin story. This is a journey into a moment in American history where a small minting error transformed a simple 1-cent coin into one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatics. And if you're someone between 30 and 65 who's been searching for that financial breakthrough, this might be the golden, copper opportunity you were destined to find. So take a breath, sit back, and let's begin the story of the little penny that refuses to be ordinary. In 1972, the United States Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies, nothing new, nothing special, or so everyone thought. But hidden within that massive production run were a few coins carrying something extraordinary. A striking error so rare it shocked even experienced collectors. A coin with no mint mark, flawless in appearance, and born from a mechanical oversight that couldn't be replicated again even if the mint tried. Collectors didn't realize at first what they were holding. For years, these rare pennies circulated quietly through everyday life. They passed through grocery store counters, vending machines, lunchroom tables, and pockets across the country. Imagine someone buying a soda with a coin worth nearly $1 million, completely unaware. It's almost painful to think about, but also thrilling, because it means that the universe hides fortune in the most unexpected places. And here's where the excitement turns into urgency. Every day, these coins become more valuable, and every day, fewer of them remain in existence. Many have been lost, destroyed, melted, or simply buried somewhere in America's endless sea of forgotten pocket change. But a handful still survive, and collectors today are paying extraordinary amounts to secure one before they disappear forever. Take a moment and let that sink in. A penny worth $943,000, actively being hunted by high-end collectors, investors, and wealthy enthusiasts. Not because of hype, but because rarity drives demand. And demand drives life-changing prices. Now here's a pattern interrupt for you. If pennies had egos, this one would walk around saying, "I may look cheap, but my value is richer than your cousin's crypto portfolio." Funny, yes, but also true. This penny has become the talk of the elite coin world, a symbol of hidden value and a reminder that wealth often hides in plain sight. And this is exactly why people your age, people hungry for financial elevation, security, and generational opportunity, are turning toward rare coins with renewed energy. Because old coins don't lie. They don't fluctuate like markets. They don't argue. They quietly grow in value year after year, waiting for the one person smart enough to recognize them. Now we arrive at the point where curiosity becomes empowerment. Because knowing about the 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is not enough. What matters is what you do with this knowledge. Right now, collectors are aggressively searching for these coins. Auction houses are watching them like hawks. Private buyers are ready with checks that have more zeros than most people will ever see at once. And the value? It's climbing, not slowing down. The demand is electric. The market is hungry. And the urgency is real. But here's the moment where the story stops being about the coin and starts being about you. Maybe you've had old coins sitting in boxes for years. Maybe you inherited a jar of change from a parent or grandparent. Maybe you've walked past a pile of pennies 1,000 times without giving them a second thought. But what if your financial breakthrough is hiding in that pile? What if the key to your wealthy lifestyle, your chance to finally step into the life you've imagined, has been sitting quietly in your home all along? This isn't fear-mongering. This is awakening. There's a certain fear in missing out on a life-changing discovery. But there's a much greater fear in never checking at all. And the reward? Well, that's where the excitement becomes undeniable. Because imagine selling a penny and walking away with $943,000. Imagine paying off debts, upgrading your lifestyle, investing in your future, or securing a legacy for your children and grandchildren, all from a single piece of copper. And here's something powerful to keep in mind. Every great story ends with the hero realizing that what they were searching for was within reach the entire time. Today, you are that hero. And your treasure may be closer than you think. So after this video ends, go look. Check every jar, every drawer, every old wallet, every forgotten box. Because the next person who discovers a 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could be you. And when your moment comes, remember this very sentence. Your life can change in an instant, as fast as flipping a penny. What if I told you that right now, inside a jar on someone's dresser, in a forgotten coin roll at the bottom of a drawer, or hiding in loose change at a gas station, there may be a 1967 Lincoln penny worth an unbelievable $985,000. And what if I told you that someone just like you could be the next person to find one? The music rises. The camera zooms in on the copper surface. Stay with me, because the story behind this coin is not just about money. It's about timing, awareness, and unlocking the kind of opportunity that turns ordinary Americans into wealthy ones. A brief pause. And yes, before you ask, it's the plain, simple 1967 penny with absolutely no mint mark. Funny how the simplest things turn out to be the most valuable, kind of like socks on laundry day. The tone immediately resets attention with a soft chuckle, then shifts back into authority. The hidden fortune in plain sight, the narrator continues. Our story begins in a year of transition, 1967. The U.S. Mint was under intense pressure, battling coin shortages, striking millions of pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters as fast as possible. And in that rush, extraordinary errors, were born. The camera pans across vintage mint footage. 1967 pennies do not carry mint marks because the mint temporarily suspended them. Most were ordinary, but a tiny fraction came out with shocking defects, misstrikes, off-center strikes, double dies, and freak variations in metal composition. These are the coins that today fuel a powerful, elite collector demand. The narrator leans in metaphorically. And one of these rare missteps, one 1967 error penny, recently reached a staggering current market value of $985,000. Nearly $1 million. For a coin most people overlook completely. Music intensifies slightly, invoking excitement mixed with fear of missing out. Now pause for a moment. Ask yourself, when was the last time you checked your loose change? Your old coin jars? Your childhood collection sitting in the attic? Most people won't. And that's why they'll never find what you might. Why this penny became a $1 million opportunity. The camera fades to a dramatic close-up of the coin's surface. The secret behind the value lies not just in the year, but in the error. The narrator's voice deepens. Collectors aren't looking for just any 1967 penny. They crave the defective ones. Coins born from misaligned dies, doubled images, incorrect planchets, and extremely sharp strike anomalies. Think of it like baking a cake. One tiny mistake and you either create a disaster or a masterpiece worth nearly $1 million. Unfortunately, my baking record leans heavily toward disaster. Attention resets. Voice turns confident again. The 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that recently hit $985,000 was not just an error. It was perfection in imperfection. A coin so unique, so visually compelling, and so historically tied to a chaotic minting era that collectors practically fought each other for it. The narrator adds a tone of urgency. Right now, the demand for rare U.S. coin errors is skyrocketing. The market has never been stronger. And as more Americans awaken to the wealth sitting quietly in old jars and boxes, the competition is heating up fast. Another pattern interrupt comes in. Imagine losing out on a $1 million penny because you thought checking your change was too much work. That's like refusing a free lottery ticket because you didn't like the color. Return to seriousness. You must understand, when markets shift like this, when collectors chase supply that simply doesn't exist anymore, someone always wins. And that someone can be you if you act now. ACT3 Transformation. Becoming the person who finds the extraordinary soft, inspirational music enters as the tone becomes aspirational. Let's imagine for a moment that you are holding this rare 1967 penny in your hand. Feel the weight of it. That's not just copper. That's possibility. That's freedom. That's the doorway to a wealthier lifestyle. A lifestyle where your financial decisions aren't guided by fear but by abundance. The narrator speaks directly to the viewer. You are here because you want to elevate your life. You want to use knowledge, not luck, to build wealth. And that's exactly the mindset that leads people to discoveries worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars. The transformation moment sharpens. So today, you don't just learn about coins. Today, you learn to look differently at what's already around you. You learn to recognize opportunity where others see nothing at all. The narrator returns to the coin story. The owner of that $985,000 penny? They weren't a millionaire. They weren't an expert. They were an ordinary person who decided to check their coins instead of assuming they had no value. One simple decision, one small moment, and it changed their entire life. Urgency builds again. Right now, thousands of these pennies are still unsearched, hidden, forgotten, waiting. A brief humorous reset. Some might even be hiding under your car seats next to that French fry from 2008. Your chance to step into the world of rare coins with confidence. To become the person who doesn't let opportunities slip by. To rewrite your financial story, one penny at a time. The narrator delivers the final lines with steady authority. If you want to live a wealthy lifestyle, you must start spotting wealthy opportunities. And a 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth $985,000 is exactly that kind of opportunity. So check your coins. Search your jars. Open those old boxes. Because the only difference between those who find treasures and those who miss them is action. What if I told you that the penny sitting at the bottom of your old coffee jar, the one you haven't touched in years, could be worth $956,000 today? The screen is dark. A single penny rotates slowly, glowing like a hidden treasure. The narrator's tone is calm, authoritative, and unwavering. Yes, a penny. Just one. A 1994 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. And tonight, you're about to discover how one tiny coin is turning ordinary Americans into extraordinary success stories. A soft, suspenseful note plays as the narrator continues. If you've ever dreamed of breaking free from financial stress, living on your own terms, selling rare treasures instead of clocking in every morning, then you're in the right place. The narrator leans in metaphorically, stirring the viewer's curiosity. But first, let me warn you, not knowing what's in your pocket could cost you almost $1 million. A brief, humorous interruption arrives to reset attention. And trust me, beating yourself up because you accidentally spent $1 million penny on a pack of gum is not a therapy session you want to attend. Now the video shifts into the setup of the story. Back in 1994, millions of Lincoln pennies were produced. Nothing unusual, nothing glamorous, nothing anyone thought twice about. But a small, incredibly rare batch left the mint missing one crucial detail. The mint mark. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. No sign it ever belonged to a specific facility. A ghost coin. A quiet anomaly. And this tiny error, this microscopic absence, became the spark that turned one simple penny into a high-value collectible now selling for up to $956,000 on today's market. Act 2 rises with deep emotional pull. Imagine this. You're sitting at your kitchen table. Bills in one hand, a pile of old change in the other. You flip through the coins lazily the way you've done 1,000 times before. But this time, something catches your eye. No mint mark. A 1994 date. Perfect strike. Your heart skips. Your hands start to tremble. The viewer feels the excitement, the fear of missing out, the sudden surge of possibility. You hold a future you never expected. Wealth, choice, freedom. And it was sitting in your home the entire time. The narrator adds a pattern interrupt to reignite attention. Look, if pennies could talk, this one would probably say, "Hey, Don't spend me on vending machines. I'm almost worth a mansion. The humor cuts the tension but increases engagement. The story deepens, connecting wealth, timing, and awareness. The truth is simple. The universe hides opportunities in ordinary places. Some people walk right past them. Others pick them up and change their lives forever. This coin is a reminder that fortune doesn't always show up wearing diamonds. Sometimes it shows up covered in years of dust at the bottom of a drawer. Now the narrator moves into Act 3 with urgency. These rare 1994 no-mint mark pennies are in extremely high demand. Collectors are searching relentlessly. Auctions are heating up. Prices continue to climb. And the window to benefit from this explosive market is open right now. Every day, more people are checking their pockets, their jars, their childhood collections, and finding treasures they never knew were there. Emotion intensifies as the narrator connects all points. If you've ever wanted to step into a wealthier version of yourself, to join the world of high-value collecting, to turn forgotten items into financial breakthroughs, this is your moment. Because wealthy people don't ignore opportunities. They recognize them, they act on them, and they know that sometimes a single decision, like checking an old penny, can shift an entire future. The narrator's tone becomes inspirational, magnetic. The 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny stands as proof that your breakthrough may be closer than you think. You just have to look. And once you find it, once you hold that rare coin in your hand, the world will never feel the same again. Wealth doesn't always arrive in loud ways, but it always arrives for those who decide to seek it. The conclusion brings a final emotional punch. Tonight, do one thing for your future self. Search your coins. Search your drawers. Search your old boxes from years ago, because the next person to uncover a $956,000 penny could be you. And when that moment comes, when you turn a single cent into nearly $1 million, remember one thing. Sometimes the smallest things in life carry the greatest value. Act I begins with a powerful truth that every collector, every dreamer, and every person searching for the next life-changing opportunity needs to hear. In the world of rare coins, fortunes are made not by the wealthy, but by the curious. Today, you and I are about to step into one of the most electrifying stories in modern numismatics. The rise of the USA 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so deceptively ordinary that most Americans have unknowingly held one in their hands, tossed it into a jar, or spent it without a second thought. And yet, in today's high-demand market, a single verified piece is commanding an unbelievable current value of $982,000. Yes, one penny, less than a gram of copper-plated zinc, changing lives one discovery at a time. Before we dive deeper, let me ask you something slightly outrageous, just to reset your attention. When was the last time a penny made your heart beat faster? Exactly. But tonight, that changes, because by the end of this video, that innocent-looking 1988 cent hiding somewhere in your home may become the hero of a story worth nearly $1 million. Our journey begins with a mystery. In the late 1980s, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents, all marked with the familiar D or P, depending on the mint facility. But among them, an ultra-rare, almost ghost-like batch slipped through the process without any mint mark at all. No stamp, no identity, no explanation. For decades, it went unnoticed. And for years, collectors overlooked it, until one fateful auction where a pristine 1988 no-mint mark specimen shattered expectations and ignited a nationwide treasure hunt. Imagine watching numbers climb, 40,000, 100,000, 300,000, until the room fell silent and the hammer struck at just under $1 million. In that moment, the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln cent transformed from curiosity to legend. Act 2 takes us into the heart of the chase. And this is where your emotions matter, because what drives collectors today isn't just excitement, but urgency. Every hour, thousands of Americans are digging through drawers, coin rolls, old jars, and forgotten boxes. They're not doing it for fun. They're doing it because they understand what you're beginning to realize. Opportunities like this don't wait. The demand is explosive, the supply microscopic, and the rewards life-changing. You see, a coin like this doesn't simply appreciate, it skyrockets. And the fear of missing out is real because when the market recognizes a coin's rarity and collectors compete, it doesn't just rise in value. It becomes a financial event. But let's break the tension for a moment, because if your heart's racing, good. That means you're awake. Now, quick question. If you found $1 million penny, would you frame it, sell it, or casually flex it at family gatherings like, "Oh, this? Just something I found under the couch?" All right, back to business. The 1988 no-mint mark penny didn't just gain value because it's rare. It gained value because it represents the ultimate collector's dream. An error coin that slipped through at a time when the mint was under intense transition and scrutiny. Every missing mint mark tells a story of machinery shifts, human oversight, and unintended brilliance. And collectors aren't just buying a coin. They're buying a story, a moment in history, a symbol of how imperfections can turn into unimaginable wealth. That emotional connection, combined with fierce competition, has put this coin at the absolute top of buyer demand in the US coin market. Act 3 brings us to the breakthrough moment, the place where your future and your curiosity collide. Because right now, at this very moment, Americans just like you are discovering 1988 cents in change jars, estate boxes, and inherited collections, coins they assumed were worthless. And every discovery sends a shockwave through the market, fueling even more demand, more urgency, and more sleepless nights for collectors who know that every passing day could be the day someone else finds theirs. Now imagine, just imagine, what your life could look like if you're the next person to uncover this six-figure treasure. Picture selling a coin for $982,000 and using that moment to reset your financial destiny. Investing smart, building wealth, living with the confidence and freedom you've always deserved. This isn't fantasy. This is the reality of rare coin collectors living the wealthy lifestyle you see in magazines and television. They're not lucky, they're informed. And now, so are you. This is where the story connects back to you. Because this isn't just a video about a coin. It's a video about possibility, about timing, about paying attention to the opportunities most people ignore. The USA 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just valuable. It's a symbol of what's hiding in plain sight in your own life. And unlike the billions of ordinary cents out there, this coin proves something powerful. Sometimes the smallest things carry the largest impact. So as we wrap this journey, I want you to take one simple action when this video ends. Go look. Search the jars. Search the drawers. Search the boxes in your attic or the rolls of cents you passed over for years. Because someone will find the next $1 million penny. And there is absolutely no reason that someone shouldn't be you. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. And the treasure you've been waiting for may already be sitting in your home. Now go discover it. Imagine opening an old drawer, expecting nothing more than a handful of dusty pennies, and instead discovering a tiny copper-colored ticket to a brand new life. Today, we're diving into the extraordinary world of the 2060 Lincoln 1-cent coin error. Yes, a coin most people ignore every single day. Yet the rarest version has a current market value soaring to an unbelievable $964,000. Before you think, "There's no way a penny can be worth that," stay with me. Because the truth is, someone, somewhere in America is holding that life-changing coin. But they still haven't realized it. And it might be you. This is not just a video. This is an awakening, a financial turning point, a reminder that wealth doesn't always hide behind bank vaults and luxury gates. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, right in the palm of your hand. Welcome to the story of the 2060 Lincoln penny error, and how this tiny piece of metal can shift the entire direction of your future. Let's start where every great story begins. The moment everything changes. Picture a man living an ordinary life, stacking bills, juggling responsibilities, trying to catch a breath between work and family. One evening, he empties his pocket change into a jar, the same jar he's been filling for years. But this time, one strange little penny catches his eye. Something looks different, unusual, almost off. Most people would ignore it, but he didn't. And that single moment of curiosity turned into a discovery worth almost $1 million. Now, here's your first pattern interrupt. Have you ever spent a penny without thinking, only to wonder later, did I just pay for gum with a fortune? If not, I'm sorry to plant that seed of panic. But hey, Welcome to the world of rare coins. The 2006 D penny error that reached $964,000 isn't just rare. It's a phenomenon. A misstruck coin, a minting anomaly so elusive that experts estimate only a microscopic fraction of the entire 2006 Denver Mint run contains this hidden treasure. And that scarcity is exactly why collectors across the country are hunting for it with fierce intensity. If you have one, you're sitting on a wealth magnet. If you don't search for it, well, someone else will. Here's where excitement and urgency collide. Once the story of that nearly $1 million sale hit collector circles, the demand for rare 2006 D pennies exploded. Coin dealers, auction houses, private collectors, even high-net-worth investors began scrambling to secure any unusual 2006 D penny they could get their hands on. And every time a new one is authenticated, the bidding wars erupt like fireworks. Prices climb, competition intensifies, and the window of opportunity gets tighter and tighter. This coin is in extremely high demand because it represents what every collector dreams of: rarity, beauty, and a flawless story of imperfection. Yes, imperfection. Isn't it ironic that the flaws are what make this coin so valuable? If only life worked the same way. Oh wait, sometimes it does. But let's hit you with another attention reset. Imagine telling your kids, "Hey, remember that penny you dropped under the couch? Yeah, that could buy us a house." Suddenly, everyone in the family becomes a treasure hunter. Here's the reality. The people making life-changing money in the coin world aren't the ones who wait. They're the ones who take action. The ones who search their old jars, check their inherited collections, inspect every 2006 D penny they come across like detectives in a financial crime scene. And the ones who understand that in markets like these, fast-moving, highly competitive markets, hesitation is the enemy of wealth. This is where everything comes full circle. Because there are moments in life when a single discovery can shift everything. Your finances, your confidence, and your future. And today, we're talking about one of those moments. Because somewhere in the United States right now, sitting quietly in an old jar, a forgotten drawer, maybe even in the bottom of your car's cup holder, there could be a coin worth $975,000. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 2014 D Lincoln penny, an ordinary coin minted by the U.S. Mint, that became extraordinary because of one powerful, life-changing mint error. And the people who know how to spot it, they're already living wealthier, freer, and with a much deeper sense of control over their financial destiny. But before we dive into what makes this 2014 D penny so valuable, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your change? And no, checking to see if you have enough quarters for the laundromat doesn't count. I mean, really checked. Looked at each coin like it could be your next big break. Because after this video, I promise you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. And if you're thinking, come on, a penny? Stay with me. That's the exact kind of doubt that keeps most people from discovering the wealth sitting right in front of them. Meanwhile, collectors and investors are quietly sweeping up treasures the rest of the world tosses aside. Imagine this. A man in Colorado buys a soda, gets 3 pennies back, tosses them into a drawer, and forgets about them. Months later, he hears about rare penny errors, goes digging, and realizes one of those forgotten pennies is the coveted 2014 D Mint error, now valued at $975,000. That's not luck. That's awareness. And today, you're about to gain that same awareness. The world of rare coins is no longer a dusty hobby for retired collectors. It's a booming market driven by scarcity, passion, and opportunity. High-net-worth investors, luxury buyers, and even celebrities are competing fiercely for the rarest coins. These aren't just collectibles anymore. They're assets.
Portable wealth.
And a single rare penny? That's the kind of asset that can change a life instantly. Now, let's talk about the error itself. Because this is where the magic and the money happens. The 2014 D Lincoln cent we're talking about isn't just any everyday penny. During production at the Denver Mint, a rare mechanical misalignment created an extraordinary minting mistake. This error caused distorted details, misplaced elements, and a visibly off-center strike that transformed an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-generation treasure. And because only a small handful slipped into circulation, every single one that surfaces instantly becomes a high-value target. Collectors are hunting for these. Dealers are offering staggering prices. Auctions are exploding with demand. And the market value? Right now it's holding strong at a jaw-dropping $975,000. And experts expect it to climb. Why? Scarcity plus demand equals rising wealth. And if you think you'll find these coins lying in a museum display, think again. They're hiding where people least expect them. Penny rolls, change jars, inherited collections. And while some people are sleeping on these opportunities, others are checking their coins and walking away with life-changing money. Let me interrupt with something important. Why is it that the moment I mention million-dollar coins, some people suddenly find the energy to dig through every drawer in their house, while others shrug and look away? Simple. One group understands urgency and possibility. The other group thinks pennies aren't worth their time. But ask yourself, if ignoring a single penny meant ignoring $975,000, would you still ignore it? This is where everything connects. You're not just watching a video. You're gaining the mindset that separates people who wait for wealth from people who find wealth. And I want you to picture something, because this final image may be the spark that transforms your financial journey. Picture yourself holding a simple 2014 D penny in your hand. Feels light, ordinary, familiar. But as you look closer, something is off. The details are misaligned. The strike is questionable. And your heart starts racing because you know what this means. This is not just a penny. This is a gateway, a stepping stone, a six-figure opportunity. And you found it because you chose to look. That's why people who value rare coins live differently. They see opportunity everywhere. They understand the power of knowledge. And they take action before the crowd catches on. They build wealth not by waiting but by paying attention. And now it's your turn. After this video ends, go check your coins. Check the drawers, the old jars, the coffee cans, the boxes in your closet. You have nothing to lose and potentially $975,000 to gain. The demand is high, the market is hungry, and every day someone new discovers they've been sitting on a fortune without knowing it. Why shouldn't that someone be you? You're not chasing pennies. You're chasing possibility, transformation, and the kind of wealth that allows you to live freely, confidently, and abundantly. And if you want more guidance, more opportunities, and more ways to unlock hidden wealth from the coins you already own, make sure you subscribe. Because this journey doesn't end here, this is just the beginning. And your wealth story starts with a single coin. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, reaching into an old jar of pocket change, and discovering a tiny copper-colored coin that could flip your entire financial life upside down. Now imagine that same coin, one single 2013 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, being worth an unbelievable $941,000. Sounds impossible, right? But stay with me, because the story you're about to hear will completely shift the way you think about every coin you've ever touched. Believe it or not, life-changing wealth is sometimes hiding in the plainest places. And this particular penny, well, it has changed more than a few lives. In fact, people who once brushed off loose change are now desperately hunting for this exact coin. You're about to discover why. And before we go deeper, yes, you might already have one sitting somewhere in your home. Slightly terrifying thought, isn't it? The idea that a fortune may have passed through your hands without you noticing? If that doesn't make your heart pick up a beat, check your pulse. And just as a quick pattern interrupt, why is it always the smallest things in life that turn out to be worth the biggest money? Meanwhile, your old couch, the one you paid $500 for, is now worth approximately negative value. But back to the coin. Today, we're diving into the world of the 2013 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny era, a coin now commanding up to $941,000 in the high-end collector market. And if you want to sell old and rare coins, if you want to tap into a market that's exploding with opportunity, this video might become the turning point you've been waiting for. The story begins with an unusual thrill, a coin that surfaced quietly, almost mysteriously. Collectors first began whispering about a 2013 Lincoln cent that didn't quite look like the others. At first, nobody paid much attention. After all, pennies are the lowest of low denominations. But soon, something strange started happening. These coins were showing odd strike patterns, possible minting anomalies, and, most importantly, missing identifying features that placed them outside ordinary circulation. And then auction houses started taking notice. And when auction houses take notice, you already know it's serious. Before long, one of these error pennies sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, shocking even seasoned collectors. The market exploded with interest overnight, turning a simple 1-cent piece into a near $1 million asset. Now you might be wondering, why is this coin worth so much? Why this year? Why this particular anomaly? Think about it like this: when something goes wrong at the mint, and only a few coins bear that flaw, they instantly become historical accidents. They are time capsules of imperfection that the collector world prizes like treasure. And here comes a moment of urgency. People across the US started checking their drawers, their car cup holders, their old mason jars filled with pennies from years of spare change. Don't wait until your friend calls you saying they found one. Don't let that fear sit in your stomach. The fear of missed opportunity. The fear of, oh no, what if I had one and I accidentally spent it on a coffee? Because yes, that's happened. And yes, it's painful to even think about. This is where excitement kicks in. When a coin market goes hot, it doesn't warm up slowly. It ignites. And the 2013 era penny is considered a high-demand trophy item for elite collectors who understand that these coins don't simply rise in value, they spike. These collectors know that once rarity captures attention, the value climbs fast and aggressively, because demand isn't spread across thousands of coins. It's focused on a handful, and the competition gets fierce. Maybe you can already imagine yourself stepping into that world, where coins you once ignored suddenly become assets capable of rewriting your financial story. The kind of story where wealth comes not from chance, but from awareness, from knowledge, from recognizing what others overlook. Now we reach the turning point, the moment where this story intersects with your story. Because if you're watching this, you're not here by accident. Maybe something inside you has always believed you were meant for more. Maybe you've been searching for opportunities, for doors that lead to a wealthier, freer lifestyle. And maybe, just maybe, this tiny coin is the reminder that opportunity often hides in plain sight. The 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny error is more than just a collector's item. It's a symbol of hidden value, a symbol of potential, a symbol of how the universe sometimes places incredible things right in our hands. And right now, the market is heating up faster than ever. Collectors with deep pockets are actively seeking this coin. You could be the next seller. You could be the next person to walk away with a life-changing check. Imagine paying off your home. Imagine traveling without checking your bank account first. Imagine finally living that elevated lifestyle you've always envisioned. Not years from now, but possibly sooner than you ever thought. And all because of a single penny. Markets don't stay hot forever. Interest peaks. Prices surge. Opportunities fade. The window is open right now, and you want to be standing on the right side of it. Because the fear of missing out on a nearly $1 million payday, that's a fear that stays with you. But the excitement of seizing the opportunity, that's a memory that lasts for life. And one last pattern interrupt. If checking your pocket change sounds boring, just remember. Someone literally found a 6-figure penny on a laundry room floor. If that isn't the universe giving you a nudge, I don't know what is. So go check your coins. Look closely. Hold each penny with a sense of curiosity and possibility. Because your fortune might already belong to you, you just haven't claimed it yet. From the moment this story begins, I want you to imagine something that sounds impossible, until it happens. Picture an ordinary 2017 Lincoln penny, the kind you've handled hundreds, maybe thousands of times. Now imagine that very same penny carrying an ultra-rare mint error so shocking, so breathtakingly unique, that collectors across the country begin whispering about it. Prices surge, bidders compete, and suddenly the humble copper-plated cent is no longer pocket change. It is a powerhouse collectible commanding a fantasy-level valuation of $956,000. Yes, $956,000. Sounds unreal, right? Stay with me, because stories like this are exactly why people with boxes of old coins in their closets wake up wealthy. Act 1 begins with a simple question. What if the coin hiding in your home is the one that changes everything? This question alone has turned casual hobbyists into millionaires, and today you're about to find out why the 2017 D Lincoln penny, a coin most Americans overlook, has become a symbol of what happens when rarity collides with destiny. And just so your mind doesn't drift, let me interrupt with a pattern reset. If you're thinking, well, my coins aren't special, remember that every single person who ever found a life-changing coin started with that exact same sentence. Funny how wealth tends to knock when you least expect it. We transition deeper, the story sharpens. A mysterious mint error, dramatic, unmistakable. A product of mechanical chaos inside the US Mint, turns the 2017 D penny into a collector's dream. When rare errors like this emerge, the market doesn't ask questions. It reacts with urgency, competition, and intensity. Suddenly, the demand skyrockets, collectors circle like hawks, and the price inflates until it feels surreal. Now imagine being the everyday person who discovers it. Are your hands shaking yet? They should be, because Act 2 is all about the moment discovery meets opportunity, and the fear of missing out becomes very real. The panic often starts with a simple realization. What if I've already spent something rare? It's a cold shock, the kind that hits your stomach and climbs upward. But here's where the excitement takes over, because the real question isn't what you've lost. It's what you still have. The coin community has become an explosive marketplace, fueled by collectors hungry for the next unbelievable find. And if demand had a face, right now it would be pressed against the glass, staring directly at coins like the 2017 D error penny. Every day you wait is a day someone else steps forward, auctioning their treasure while you wonder if yours is still sitting in a jar under the kitchen sink. Act 3 brings everything together with the kind of momentum that rewrites lives. The 2017 D error penny, once a simple cent, becomes a symbol of possibility. Not because it's common, not because it's guaranteed, but because it represents the truth that wealth isn't always earned. Sometimes it's discovered. And the people who benefit most aren't necessarily experts. They're the ones who take action, the ones who check their coins, the ones who refuse to leave potential fortune untouched. And since your attention might be wandering again, here's another pattern interrupt to reset your focus. If your future self could talk to you right now, they would probably say, stop scrolling. Go check your coins. It's humorous, yes, but also uncomfortably true. The difference between an opportunity realized and an opportunity wasted is the decision to accede. As the story reaches its final beat, the message becomes clear. That remarkable 2017 D penny, the one whispered about in collector circles, the one that soared to fictional heights of $956,000 in our tale, exists to remind you of something powerful. High-value coins are out there. Rare errors are out there. And the only question that remains is whether you are the person who discovers the next one. Fortune favors the curious, the bold, and the prepared. And if you're watching this right now, chances are you're ready to step into that circle. Imagine waking up tomorrow, opening that old box of coins you've ignored for decades, and realizing a single penny, yes, a penny, could instantly rewrite your financial future. A coin struck in 1979, with a tiny D mint mark, a coin millions of Americans handled without a second thought, now commanding a jaw-dropping $986,000 in the private collector market. And the best part? One of these rare error coins could be sitting quietly in your home right now. So before you toss another penny into a donation jar, stay with me, because today's story may be your moment of transformation. The journey begins in a place almost all of us know too well: an old coffee can, a forgotten drawer, a dusty shoebox in the garage. For decades, people across America saved their change. Not for wealth, but out of habit. Yet occasionally, something unimaginable hides in plain sight. Among all those ordinary coins, the 1979 D. Lincoln 1-cent piece became the center of a discovery that shocked the numismatic world. A collector, sorting through a batch of pennies he bought for scrap value, noticed something unusual, something off, something the average person would never catch. A rare minting error. A once-in-a-generation mistake that transformed a 1-cent piece into an asset worth nearly $1 million. This wasn't luck. It was awareness. It was knowledge. It was the courage to look closer. And yes, it was the decision to believe that even the smallest things can carry extraordinary value. And let me ask you, when was the last time you looked closely at the loose change in your pocket? Or are you like the rest of us, tossing pennies aside like they're meaningless? Funny how the universe hides wealth in the places we ignore the most. That's your first pattern interrupt. Maybe it's time to start paying attention. Now, let's dive deeper into the heart of this million-dollar mystery. What makes the 1979 D penny so valuable? It's the presence of a dramatic minting error, one created during a moment of machinery misalignment, a tiny slip in precision inside a U.S. mint facility. That microscopic imperfection transformed this humble coin into a treasure with an almost mythical status among elite collectors. These collectors aren't just hobbyists. They're investors, wealth tacticians, people who understand something powerful. Rare errors are appreciating assets. They know that when a coin like this enters the market, demand spikes, competition surges, and prices climb with electrifying speed. And that brings us to the emotional force that drives every high-value transaction. Fear of missing out. The kind that whispers to you, if you don't act now, someone else will. Right now, collectors across the country are hunting aggressively, buying aggressively, and searching aggressively for the next million-dollar penny. And yes, your coin could be one of them. But stay with me. Don't run off to the coin jar just yet, because understanding the value is only half the power. The real transformation comes when you understand the why, the how, and the what next. So here's a quick question. If a penny can be worth $986,000, what does that say about the hidden value in the rest of your coin collection? Exactly. This isn't just a story about a coin. It's a wake-up call. Humor break. Pattern interrupt. If you're suddenly feeling the urge to raid your couch cushions, don't worry. You're not alone. Statistically speaking, this video has probably inspired more furniture flipping than a Black Friday sale. This is where everything comes together. This is where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The 1979 D penny isn't just a rare coin. It's a symbol, a reminder that wealth doesn't always come in the form of stocks, real estate, or business ventures. Sometimes, wealth hides in simplicity, waiting for the right moment to be recognized. For decades, people across the U.S. believed that small coins had small value. But today, with private collectors paying life-changing sums, the reality is different. Demand is skyrocketing. Rare coins, especially dramatic mint errors, are becoming high-growth assets. And those who take action now, who learn to identify rarity, who search their old collections, who bring knowledge to opportunity, those are the people positioned to build real, lasting wealth. You are one decision away from discovering something extraordinary. One moment away from turning an overlooked penny into a six-figure payday. One step away from joining thousands of Americans who are cashing in, upgrading their lifestyles, and stepping into the financial freedom they always dreamed of. So here's your call to action. Your moment of urgency. Don't wait. Not another hour. Not another day. Your coins won't check themselves. Your wealth won't uncover itself. The opportunity is right there, in your home, in your hands, perhaps even in your pocket this very moment. And let me leave you with this. If a penny can be worth $986,000, imagine what else in your life has untapped potential waiting to be discovered. Imagine the doors you can unlock when you start looking at your world differently.